It was an ordinary Wednesday evening at the local Walmart. The sun had set hours ago, casting long shadows across the empty parking lot. Inside, the bright fluorescent lights hummed steadily, illuminating aisles stocked neatly with goods ranging from fresh fruits to electronic gadgets. Shoppers were sparse, mostly late-night stragglers grabbing necessities before heading home. Employees, recognizable in their blue vests, moved through their routines with practiced ease. Everything seemed normal, but the night was young, and the ordinary was about to twist into something entirely different. At the far end of the store, a flicker of light caught the eye of Judy, a cashier who thought she'd seen everything in her 10 years on the job. She shrugged it off as a trick of tired eyes, yet the air felt different tonight, heavier, as if charged with a silent, waiting energy. Judy's curiosity was piqued when she noticed that the electronic doors hesitated before sliding open, as if reluctant to admit the latecomer. Outside, the wind whispered secrets to anyone who dared listen. Inside, the usual hum of refrigerators seemed to carry an underlying murmur. As she resumed her duties, a stack of cans inexplicably toppled over in aisle 7, no one near. A chill ran down her spine. Glancing around, she noticed other employees pausing, a shared unease momentarily connecting them. It was as if the building itself had exhaled a cold breath. No one liked aisle 13. It was rumoured among the staff that the shelf stocks there never seemed to diminish, as if customers instinctively avoided it. Tonight, as Judy walked past, she swore she heard a low whisper emanating from the rows of cleaning supplies. Leaning closer, the whispers grew into hushed voices, discussing something urgent. The words were indistinct, more felt than heard. Fear prickled at the back of her neck, urging her to flee. But curiosity rooted her to the spot. It was nonsensical, yet unmistakably real. Turning on her heel, she decided to fetch Mark, the security guard. As she left, the voices fell silent, but the sense of being watched did not. Behind her, a bottle of cleaner slowly tipped over, spilling its contents quietly across the linoleum floor. Mark was skeptical, but followed Judy to the frozen section next. Customers rarely ventured here at night. The chill was more intense than usual. As they entered, the freezer lights flickered, casting unsettling shadows that danced across the walls. Suddenly, the temperature dropped further, breath visible in the air. The freezers hummed ominously, louder now, as if angered by their presence. Mark, usually unflappable, glanced nervously over his shoulder. Something about this night was profoundly wrong. They heard a soft thud from behind a closed freezer door. Tentatively, Mark opened it, half expecting to find something horrific. But there was nothing, only the usual array of frozen foods, yet the sense of something amiss lingered, palpable and chilling. Judy and Mark split up to cover more ground, each armed with a flashlight that seemed too feeble against the dark. Judy's light flickered as she passed electronics, where TVs displayed static screens. Suddenly, one by one, they switched to an image of the store aisles, but empty of all life. She watched, heart-pounding, as shadowy figures moved through the on-screen store. Turning around, the aisle behind her was deserted, yet the screen showed figures continuing to roam. The disconnect between reality and what the screens showed was disorienting and terrifying. Mark radioed over, his voice tense, reporting moving shadows in the toy section. Toys were scattered on the floor as if children had just stopped playing. But no children were in the store at this hour. The shadows seemed to have a life of their own. Approaching the checkout, Judy noticed an unattended cart moving slowly down the aisle. It halted at the register, as if waiting for an invisible shopper to unload it. The items inside were odd: a rope, a knife, and a book on spiritualism. As she reached out to touch the cart, a cold hand seemed to brush hers. Jerking back, she found herself alone. Yet the sensation of being touched was unmistakably real. Her walkie-talkie crackled to life, Mark's voice urgent, telling her to come to the security office immediately. Running now, heart in her throat, she couldn't shake the feeling of eyes on her back. The store had transformed into a labyrinth of shadows and whispers, each corner hiding potential unseen threats that toyed with her nerves. In the security office, Mark pointed to the monitors. The cameras flickered between normal views and bizarre scenes of chaos in the aisles. Products flew off shelves, signs swung wildly, yet the live feed showed nothing. The discrepancy was maddening. Judy felt a growing dread. This was no ordinary night. Something inexplicable was unfolding, challenging their understanding of reality. As they debated their next move, the power flickered, plunging them into darkness. The emergency lights struggled to penetrate the overwhelming blackness. Then, clear as day, a child's laughter echoed through the store, chilling and disembodied. The sound seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. Judy and Mark froze, the haunting sound a stark reminder that they were not alone. The emergency lights flickered one last time before dying out completely. Judy and Mark found themselves enveloped in an oppressive darkness. Their flashlights seemed barely effective, the beams swallowed up by the thick black around them. Moving cautiously, they headed towards the front of the store. Each step was tentative, the silence oppressive, broken only by their own breathing and the occasional distant whisper. The normality of Walmart was gone, replaced by a palpable sense of dread. As they reached the front, the automatic doors slid open spontaneously, revealing the pitch-black parking lot. No refuge awaited outside. The darkness seemed to have swallowed everything familiar about the night. As suddenly as it had begun, the chaos inside Walmart ceased. Lights flickered back to life, revealing a store that looked as normal as when the night had begun. Shelves were intact, products in place. It was as if nothing had happened. Judy and Mark, shaken, could not reconcile the night's events with the calm morning that greeted them. Employees arriving for the morning shift found them huddled at the front, unable to fully explain what had occurred. Their accounts sounded like a shared hallucination. Yet the feeling of unease lingered. As they left the store, the sun rising in the background, both knew they would never view the mundane setting of Walmart in the same way again. The night had changed something fundamental in their perception of reality. What happened at Walmart that night remains a mystery. The store continued to operate as if nothing had occurred, but for Judy and Mark, the shadows lingered in their minds, a constant reminder of the unknown. The experience left them with an unresolved question. Was what they experienced a brush with something supernatural, or a breakdown of their own senses under stress? The uncertainty was perhaps the most unsettling outcome. As they moved on with their lives, the memory of that night at Walmart haunted them, a chilling tale of the ordinary turned extraordinary. And somewhere, in the back of their minds, the fear of the unknown continued to whisper, waiting for the next quiet night to speak again.